Okay, so the recording has officially started. I haven't come up with an intro yet. So I guess right now I'm just gonna say hi, welcome back. If you even bothered seeing the first one, it really doesn't change a lot. Either way, I'm happy that you're here. Anyway, I'm joined again by the same guy, and I realized that in the first audio, well, I didn't realize, it was pointed out to me that there was actually an echo, and the reason was because I was recording the same audio track twice. So this time there shouldn't be an echo, meaning that everything should be working fine. Anyway, I'm gonna start introducing myself as Blue, and since most of the time I'm probably gonna be recording with this guy, I'll let him call himself whatever the hell he wants.
Hi, I'm Shay. I'm a potato.
He's the one actually dancing on the screen as well.
Oh, hell yeah, I am. I got the moves, my guy.
Yeah, so the whole point of the potato is I really did not want to play any games. So I just decided I'm just gonna go on Discord, search up potato, I searched up dancing potato, and this is the first result. So now we're gonna be watching this and hope not to get striked for whoever drew this potato.
Hey, man, that's copy of Google, my guy. They're
Hopefully
gonna
it's
be all
good.
over you.
Dude, I just got it off Discord, alright? If you have a problem, this is free on Discord. Like, go talk to them about it. You can come back to me afterwards. But anyway, you missed this whole conversation we had, where we talked about the new Mass Effect rework, re, re, re,
Remaster, yeah.
remaster.
Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Yes, but what I wanted to talk about was games that we play that we can no longer play, because right now Shay is having like issues playing a game that he paid money for. He's like really pissed about it, and I
I mean,
was
what good is a game if you can't run it? Like my requirements are there. Meet it. I've ran it before. A whole 14 and a half hours. It's just their launcher's garbage. So yeah.
yeah. So we're not gonna say the names because I don't want to get in trouble, but it reminded me of two games. One, Saints Row 2, which can no longer be run anywhere. I tried to hell and back to
Really?
get it to run. I can't run it. It's not my
Why?
computer. I don't know why. But anyway,
Huh.
it was that one, and I was reminded of Battleborn because I was one of the few people that played Battleborn when it first came out. And if you ever played multiplayer on Battleborn, you should know two things. One, it is broken because you were able to hit. So the whole point of the Battleborn multiplayer when it first came out is that you gotta defend like this giant robot that's on your team, right?
Yeah.
And the enemy also has one. But you see, let's say red team, I can't remember the color exactly, but red team was able to snipe your robot from across the map.
Only red team? There
Yes,
was only one
only one,
sided? Why was it one sided?
because it was like the maps are kind of mirrored, but not perfectly mirrored, meaning like there was a slight little pinch of a sight line where you can shoot the robot. Was it small?
Hmm.
Yes. Was it enough for some guy to just cross map shoot it the entire game? Yes, because you could shoot it from the safest distance, which is behind the back line. Meaning like every game, all you had to do is run shield piercing, and you were able to just attack the guy from basically your spawn. Meaning like the games were very unbalanced, and then the PvP mode was a lot better, because you didn't have to worry about that. But PvP mode had its own flaws that, well, it was a lot easy to make the match one-sided because you could always just it's hard to say, but you could always just tunnel, like the whole point was to get like little minions from across the map, kind of like what was it, Smite? The Smite, like you have to escort your minions across to their portal.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. But the problem with it is that there's a few characters that had AoE and very few characters that had non AoE. Meaning like if you had one AoE character, you could basically just keep clearing it by yourself. And most of the time in those games, at least at the start, it never felt balanced because nobody knew 100% what they're doing. So it was very easy just to like start absolutely destroying the enemy team. And the one thing I did like about Battleborn was the story, but it felt too short for the price it had. And then the story itself, although replayable, yes, but it was a maximum of 3 replays. Like it wasn't as promised that oh, it's like you can play it and each experience is gonna be different. Not quite. Like it had a very limited factor because each mission you can only like play it 3 times until you've seen all the variants.
Right.
Especially if you're like grinding on missions, because if you're grinding on missions, you're playing the same character, meaning each character has like 1, maybe 2 variants to it. So if you hurt the variants for that one character, well, you wouldn't want to play the same character, which is kind of good, but at the same time, it wasn't as interesting because if you like playing the same character like I did, I liked playing Oscar Mike, but I couldn't play Oscar Mike because I already knew everything. I knew all the dialogue, and it got pretty boring.
Right.
And then like it died super quick. Like it died so fast that I wasn't even expecting it to die. Um, it was really the slowness of them trying to patch out the really just the slowness of them trying to patch out the mistakes they had in PvP, which that on its own like was what tilted most of the players. And then that the replay factor just wasn't there entirely because you had to do very specific things to unlock certain things in the game, but you really didn't because it was really just like if you play the same character you like, you will just get those naturally. Um, so it was just playing the game, but the replay ended when like it was the same 3 maps, it was the same 3 problems. Each one had a
There was
wildly.
nothing that made you want to play it. Nothing that kept it interesting.
What kept it interesting is that I loved Oscar Mike as a character. Like he had very good personality. All the characters had very good personality. I love them.
Right, but I mean,
Outside,
gameplay wise,
yes, outside of that, however, there wasn't much. The story was good. Um, the story was good. It was very funny. Like the characters were very kind of. It reminded me a lot about Borderlands, which I think it was the creators that Borderlands that also worked on it. But it felt to have that like you could play with 4 friends the entire story, right? You could have them
yeah.
there the entire time, and even their characters would sometimes speak while you were doing it. But it died mostly because people thought it would be like Overwatch, and it was nothing like Overwatch. It had its own like very separate universe. It had like its own charm to it, but people were just like freaking out over Overwatch, and it died extremely
Did it
fast.
come out around the same time as Overwatch?
Yes, it came out a week before
Gotcha.
Overwatch. So when that week when
Yeah,
Overwatch came out, it just died. And
yeah. It
like
got outshined. Yeah, it was trying to survive in the shadow of Overwatch. Yeah.
no, because it was Overwatch was extremely hyped when it came out, but
Yeah.
this came out yeah, this came out before Overwatch, so it already had its own fair share. Like, oh no, like how we're gonna outshine this, and through charm alone, they thought they would survive. And granted, it does have its charm. Um, but what the difference was that despite not having a story Overwatch, which is the one reason I didn't want Overwatch, um, it was really just that it didn't. I guess it didn't have that same appeal, like it didn't have that replay value where you wanted to play with a team, you wanted to coordinate attacks, and I think that's what really destroyed the game on my end. Because I loved the game. This flaws and all, like it was just a matter of like patching the little difficulties out, like fixing the sidelines. That was literally the only problem, fixing the sidelines and some items were more broken, but every game like has to go, through that balancing issue when it first comes out because you don't know if this is broken. I remember when Overwatch came out, Bastion was a huge problem. But like nobody, like, yes, people got mad, but not enough to just stop playing the game. The
Right.
problem was that when okay, so the problem was that when Battleborn was trying to fix those issues, Overwatch came out and everybody was like, why bother waiting when we can just go over to Overwatch and just play a quote unquote better game, you know?
Right.
So that's pretty much what ended up happening, people just abandoned ship instead of like waiting it out. And which is very sad because like the game on its own was very fun to play. Like there's still missions I would like to play. I'm still I was in a Discord community with the last few Overwatch Battleborn players. Um, and honestly, like I would still play it again, but like it's very hard for me because I think I was like at a different time zone. Like nobody in that community was on when I was on, so it's very hard for me to find players again. And I'm not gonna ask like my friends like, oh, dude, you should download Battleborn because in reality it's a bad game. Okay, like I don't know if it's been fixed, so I don't want them to like download it and just be like, nah, dude, this sucks, you know? Okay, so I went on that rant there for like a solid 10 minutes. Hello?
Huh? Yeah. I'm here.
I think you committed seppuku for a moment there. See,
Not yet.
he zoned out incredibly. But anyway,
No, I'm listening.
like that's my experience. So what game are you trying to play right now that you can't play? Like,
Mass Effect 3. Because their launcher they use is not good.
oh, which Mass Effect 3 though? Like, do you have it on Origin?
The Digital Deluxe Edition. I bought it on Steam, but they don't allow you to launch it on Steam. You
N-
can purchase it on Steam, but you have to use their own launcher, which is supposed to be integrated with Steam. However, I think that's a crock of crap. I don't think it's integrated in any way. Because it took me a week after I bought it for
no.
it to even show up on the Origin launcher, and Origin doesn't like to launch the game, so yada yada
Yeah,
yada.
like the thing is, it's not Origin because I have it for Origin and like it works perfectly. I think
See,
it's just right now
I think
since
it
you.
is Origin because the app, like Origin itself, the application does not even like to remain open. If I
Oh,
click the wrong way in the Origin application, it restarts or crashes.
okay. I think that's just your Origin do that because like my Origin doesn't do that. Mine works perfectly. And then again, I bought Mass
Interesting.
Effect on Origin, and I also bought I bought The Sims. I was think. Do you think The Sims would be a good one to just record in the background, just see some dude like mundanely follow his tasks? I wouldn't even
Maybe,
I wouldn't even like do anything on it. I'll just see how long he can survive without me. Just like
mm,
do your own bidding, mortal.
maybe,
But like
maybe.
the thing about it is that as much I'm gonna be honest, I love Steam. I trust Steam more than most other launchers. But I'm starting to like Epic Store a bit more because Epic Store gifts you games every month. Am I ever gonna play those games? No. But it's a free game nonetheless.
Right.
So what were you doing? Okay, so would you like to give so like I said earlier we were talking about Mass Effect 3 and you had a lot to say and I told you that would be good to put in the podcast. So if you would please once again alliterate on what exactly like you meant by it for two reasons. A, it was extremely hard for me to follow that conversation, and
Yeah.
B,
Oh, what part? Like, how I was discussing, uh,
you were
well,
we were
we got to talking about the announcement of the remaster that they're making for the trilogy, and then how they announced a new original game for the franchise.
yes we were
Um,
okay
and that announcement was made on November 7th, which, according with BioWare and all the fans, BioWare has created this pseudo holiday. They call it In7 Day, and that has to do with the in-game like soldier rank and training program. Where it's an In7 applicant or graduate.
Okay,
Where
so
in is the occupation, which in this case is an elite soldier, and 7 is the rank. Seventh, of course, being the highest one is able to complete. If that makes any degree of sense in any
yes,
capacity.
yes, but we were also talking about the multiplayer because I've never played the multiplayer.
Oh, that part. Yeah.
Yes.
So Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, it's a horde shooter. I won't call it a looter shooter or anything, but it's a horde shooter. So you go and pick your difficulty. That ranges from bronze to platinum. Um, and you and three other friends can go in. You can play as varying races and classes. So I mean, there's even a playable collector. It's called the Awakened Collector. He's an adept. He has little wings he can fly around with. It's nice and cute. Um, and yeah, the Voluses are really hilarious because they're actually really freaking good. They're a support character, the Voluses are. So one of their main abilities they have is shield boost, and it has really short cooldown and recharge. So depending on how you've built your character and how you've leveled up and distributed all of his stats, I can spam the heck out of that and keep people that are really squishy alive by just making sure they constantly have shields. Um, and like they're notorious because they don't get a melee. When they tap their melee, it activates a fourth ability that is unique to the Voluses. They get a really short tactical cloak. So the idea is they can pop that and run because they're not going to be able to sit there and melee somebody and fight and win. So that's their panic button. They get to run away and hide. That's an example.
Okay.
You can be an Omni Blade, like dual wielding Vorcha if you want, and slice people into little slivers.
Okay. So
Gives
for
you a lot
okay.
of options. I like it.
Okay. So for I'm not sure my cousins ever played Mass Effect, but I'm just gonna go ahead and doubt they have. So basically, these are all alien races. We're not like just speaking tongue. Like
Oh yeah, Volus. Yeah, it's an alien race. They're real short. They're tubby. They have a biosuit on. They're all of like 2.5 feet tall. So and they're really fat.
okay. So we also got to talking about like once again we just went into Mass Effect once again. I don't know what's up with Mass Effect, but I feel like that's gonna be the biggest
Um,
talking point.
it's my obsession. It's my obsession. So that's
Yes,
yes.
yes, I figured it out.
Yes, if you haven't learned yet.
If you're not ready for the high tier Mass Effects like speeches, I think you need to leave.
Yeah. It's your daily game rant, because I'm a fanboy.
Yeah, like for someone who I think the only game you told me you hate the most is Andromeda.
Yeah, because I don't think it had what was his name?
You said like they only made it
Casey
in a
Hudson, I
year.
believe it was.
Is it true that they only made it in a year though?
Yeah, the entirety of Mass Effect Andromeda was made in about a year's time. It had been reworked several times in that year. So it's not like they spent 1 year developing the entire game and released it. No, they spent 1 year, made a few ideas, made a few versions of the game, scrapped them, and started over again, and then launched that several times in 1 year.
That would explain why the face like goes all fucked. Cause
Yeah,
I've seen videos of the face.
yeah,
Uh,
they fixed it, but it still isn't good. But like Casey Hudson, in my understanding, wasn't even like a part of Andromeda. He made the entire trilogy what it is. Like he was majorly involved in all that. He was head of the entire project.
well, it's really just I wouldn't really know because I'm gonna be honest. I don't know much about directors. I don't know much about like people that work in the games. I only know the games themselves.
Right.
Because then again, like I don't want to just say, oh, maybe it's because this guy was involved, this was involved. Because to be fair, it's very
Right.
subjective. Like
But when a franchise is literally defined by one individual's work on it, and then you remove that person
what in
who
that case, it's a bad franchise to begin with. Because if you're relying on the one individual's work, you have failed as a franchise.
I
It's not a
suppose I prefer
franchise.
to look at it as they're relying on one individual's genius.
It's not a franchise then. It's just a passion project at that point. Because
Oh, well, I would definitely say that it is, yeah, but I say it's a franchise in the fact that it's a massive narrative world with three three individual stories. That's
one,
why it's a trilogy.
if it's just one person, it's not a franchise. It's just a passion project of one guy. Then
Yeah, I suppose.
no, it is because.
I would say franchise because there's more than games. There's novels, there's comic books,
But what did he make
there's
them?
an animated movie. There's all sorts of things about it.
Yes, but was he involved in all of those?
Loosely, because like he does the writing for most everything.
In that case, it's a terrible thing
Like
because
the movie, probably not. The comic books depends. Some of them.
it's the same thing as
The
saying like
novels, no.
it's the same thing as saying George Lucas was made what's made Star Wars good. You know.
Yeah, but don't people call Star Wars a franchise?
Yes, but the thing about it is George Lucas wasn't involved with all of them. He gave his approval, but
That's
he
true.
wasn't actively involved. Like,
Yeah.
for example, The Mandalorian. He gave his approval. Actually, no, I don't think he likes The Mandalorian. Last time I checked,
Isn't George Lucas dead, my guy? What do you mean?
I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
Uh, Google. Is George Lucas dead? Because I'm genuinely curious.
No, I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
1965 till present.
Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, like George
Yeah.
Lucas didn't like
I didn't know. I was genuinely curious.
George Lucas didn't like The Mandalorian. I'm not sure why, because like I saw the documentary and like he was there when they were making
Oh,
it.
that's awkward.
Yeah, it's like so it like that's like genuinely like um first it's very sad because like I don't know if you've seen The Mandalorian. It's a
No.
good fucking show, dude. Like it's a good Star Wars show as well.
Are you familiar with Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic?
Not I'm more familiar with the Clone Wars. My favorite is the Clone Wars, not the cartoon.
Yeah.
I mean the Clone Wars in general.
Yeah. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic is a Star Wars MMORPG. It's really old.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about. I just saw it on
Yeah,
Steam a
Casey
few.
Hudson made that. That's some of Casey Hudson's genius.
What can't I use this?
That's old Casey Hudson right there.
Yes, but
Like his thing is he's really good at making like narrative, your decision matters, multiple ending kind of games.
I've never played the game, so I wouldn't know if it's any good or not. And I
I
wouldn't.
mean, for an MMO, my understanding is it gives you a lot of paths to pursue, and that's not very common.
What
In
I'm
the fact that each path is fairly diverse.
the way I believe, or like the way I like to think about games is, it's really just if you're blaming one person for all of it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Well, I'm not saying he's the only person that made the games good. That's not at all what I'm saying. It's a cooperative effort by far and large. I'm just saying he kind of created the formula that every BioWare game after Knights of the Old Republic has really followed, and there's a reason for that.
I mean, just because you come up with a formula doesn't mean like you're solely responsible for that formula. It's kind of like I believe that if a game is good, or at least if the franchise is good, it's not really about like the people involved in it. You know,
Yeah.
It's about what people can do with the franchise, not.
I mean, they haven't done much since, to be honest. They made Andromeda and it
Well, to be fair, Andromeda was a
wasn't good.
big. The thing that I don't like about Andromeda is that it was rushed. They
Yes.
can't bullshit. It was 100%.
There was an entire, like, um, documentary, actually, that somebody made. I don't remember who it was, but it was Kotaku or somebody. There's an entire documentary made about what went wrong with Mass Effect Andromeda. And there was one of the head designers. They weren't at the very top, but it was a lead design of something. It was like art or something. And his personal statement was they were leadership issues from the start. That the game was announced and they started like pre-planning, so it was early writing stuff. And then Katie Hudson made his departure from the company, from BioWare. They said after that, they went through this big long process of trying to decide who was going to take over the project after that. He said that took 2 3 months in and of itself. And then after they figured that out, there was a conflict from where there were 2 or 3 people put on the project and they all wanted to do it differently. And so that took another two months or so to resolve, and eventually get going. And they start making the game, and someone above them saw the project and said, "That's terrible. Start over, scrap it." And so they did, and they did that 2 3 times, having to start over because the game was a fiasco. And so the company didn't even know what to do without Hudson, and that's a sign right there. It's not a good one either for the company that they're just too dependent on one individual. But
Like that for me is a bad franchise, because for me a good franchise would be Star Wars, because
well, it wasn't. I mean,
for
that's the
me,
fault of the company, in my opinion. You
yes,
know.
yeah, for me it's Star Wars, and then Halo, because the Halo books have nothing to do with Microsoft, yet they're incredibly good. Like, I've read most of them, I like them, and it's just that, like, I find it a good franchise when anybody can be able to write about this world, and it's really just a creative liberty about it, where even despite, like, oh, he wasn't involved in the games, he wasn't involved with this, he was able to make something from that same universe. I find that, to me, a good franchise, because it's
Yeah.
not solely dependent on one person, it's solely dependent on the community and what they want.
I mean, Katie Hudson, he's back at Bioware now, and that's probably why everything that's happening with the remaster and the new games happening. But he pumped out 4 games back to back, more or less, and then he departed. And then Andromeda came out. It was garbage. Do you know what came out after that? That was very similar to Mass Effect that Hudson had nothing to do with.
No, not really.
Anthem.
I don't know much about Anthem. I hear it's not that bad. Like, it's not good,
Here's
but it's
here's the
not
thing
bad.
about Anthem. I beta tested Anthem. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The gameplay in that game is one of a kind. I love it. The amount of verticality that game gives to the player, and it says, here's an open world. You're able to fly around and do cool stuff. Enjoy it. Fly like a bird. Not comparable to any other game. That said, the amount of content that was in that game at launch was laughable. You could blow through that game, $60 game, in all of maybe 3 days, I'd say, if you were really trying.
To be fair, that sounds a lot longer than most games I've gotten. Because,
I mean, and now this is if you're playing 6 hours a day, though. You got to think that's not 6 days nonstop.
no, dude, no
It's
offense.
not 3 days nonstop. That's 6 hours a day.
No offense, but who the
3 days.
hell is playing longer than that? Like,
I mean,
I get it, like, kids, maybe. Um,
dude, I heard stories of people beating it in 12 hours,
one,
but I don't believe that.
the only people I like to say that do that are, one, it should be reviewers, hopefully, which it's probably not,
Yeah.
or people who, like, either have, like, anybody that has, like, some sort of illness or something at the
Right.
moment. Like, if you get a cold or something, like, you can play
Right.
as many hours as you want.
Well, see, I never actually ran out of content personally, so I can't make that grievance. But the grievances that I can say I have, and I feel like they're valid, is A, the loot system in that game at launch was garbage. Now, say what you want, it is a looter shooter, akin to Destiny, but it was heavily dependent on loot boxes that were achievable in-game only at the end of certain challenges and dungeons, and the ones you got from dungeons only gave you there was very specific tier loot you can get from it, and you could not get any of the good stuff from that. The rest had to be found in like open world challenges and stuff. And there were issues even at launch where either those wouldn't physically spawn even after you completed what it wanted you to do, or they would and it would give you the long loot table. So you'd be opening the appropriate chest and it just would not give you the loot for that chest. It would give you the loot for the basic chest, making it literally impossible to get the loot you need for in-game content. One could understand why that would be an issue, I would imagine. You were very quiet, buddy.
Yes, because I'm trying to process what you said. Like, it's a lot of
Oh,
information. I don't want to, like, first of all, get it
it is.
confused.
Um, in short, sweet layman's terms, it was very grindy to a fault in the kind of equipment you had to get and the ways you had to get it. And then when you did what it wanted you to, either the little like loot chests they wanted you to open to get them would not spawn when you did what you were supposed to. Or it would, and it would actually give you the wrong loot table. It would treat it like you're opening the basic ones, making it impossible to get good equipment to do in-game content.
I can see where that would be a problem, but
Yeah, it just means you can't do in-game stuff. And like the plot, there is a good story to be told in Anthem, and I'm very disappointed at BioWare because of it, because they could have done good with it. There's a good narrative and good plot, but with that said, they did not use it. There is a almost full story plot in Anthem, but it's all tucked in a library that you have to go, and that's not part of the game in any major way. It's you can go here and read lore if you want, or don't. We don't care. It's just a little place in the hub area you can go to get lore. That's all it is. There are story missions, but they don't give you much story.
well, I can't really talk much about Anthem because one, I never played and I don't know much about it. I haven't even seen gameplay of it. I just know it's a game.
I enjoyed playing Anthem. I would buy Anthem on PC. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But for anything other than gameplay, no. That said, it's went through some changes. It's matured a bit. It's gotten quite a few updates. Oh, there was also a bit of a fiasco because there was an entire dynamic weather system that was supposed to be part of the open world that was shown in the trailers and stuff. And it was marketed as part of the game. It was not.
What
Um,
to be fair, Destiny also did that. Destiny like did the promise that if you can see it, you can go to it, and no, you can't. It's very small areas, but it wasn't big issue having to do with the game.
Alright. Well, they went back. Um, BioWare did, and good on them, I guess, for making the game what they said it was. And they've added that to it. Because the stuff was there, kind of, not in its entirety. So they just went back. Oh, I'm tired. And they fixed it. They put it in there. And they're trying to work with the game. They're trying to make it a good game, an enjoyable one people want to play. Um, and like I really enjoyed it. The combat in the game is something else, man. I thoroughly enjoyed the gameplay, but it's only the gameplay. That said, like I said, the game's matured and it's changed quite a bit. They fixed the loot tables, the chest, and how that all works. They're proactively, recently, within a few weeks, updating it so that the loot's changed even more so. The way you upgrade your abilities and stuff is going to change. They're making the game a little less grindy, in fact.
It actually sounds like a good progress.
They're trying to make the game what it should have been at launch.
Well, to be fair, that is bad on its own, because why now? Like the launch already happened. How come when you get a game you have to wait until it's what they promised?
Yes.
That's what I don't like about like how the industry is going now. It's like, yes, like we get the game a lot sooner. Yes, we get to play the game and we get to test it and all that. But when it's fully launched and it's fully paid for, and you still have to, for me, it feels like beta test it. It's bullshit, like to me.
Yeah, there's a quote here, from the infamous Shigeru Miyamoto. And it says as follows: a delayed game is eventually good, but a rush game is forever bad. That is a lead project producer from Nintendo. He's famous for a
Yes, I
lot
know
of
who he
Zelda
is.
games.
Yes, I know who he is. And yes,
Yes,
I also
yes,
know the quote.
yes.
But
I feel it is very applicable to this conversation.
it is, or at least it would be, if they were
They
doing that. Because
they
that's.
have publicly said with Anthem they didn't even settle on a name until like 3 months before release, or no, it was probably about a month, I'd say, but it was within the past 2 months. They didn't have the name figured out. They had a working title that they were going to go with. They had printed merchandise, shirts, mugs, stuff like that, with the working title, and then they changed the title to Anthem before release at E3.
That sounds like shitty game making. But then again, like that's just the game title, like
They didn't have the game for most of the time. If you think the Andromeda was bad because they only had about a year development, at least they knew what they were trying to make. They knew they were trying to make a Mass Effect game. They were trying to make a modern rendition of the original Mass Effect. That open world space exploration charm where it's a vast unknown universe. Well, in Anthem, until E3 rolled around and the trailer, the official like release, well, it's not the release trailer. The first trailer for Anthem came out. Um, there was an interview on Anthem as well alongside Andromeda, and some of the designers on it that they were managed to speak with said they did not even know what they were making until they saw the trailer. Let that sink in. They did not know the game they were making until they saw the trailer at E3 the same time everybody else did.
but look at the bright side. They were also hyped during that trailer. They're like, "Oh shit."
The exact quote from that interview, I do believe, is he said he stood up, looked at the trailer, the video, and said, "Huh, so that's the game that we're supposed to be making."
They're like,
And it's not
"Wow."
like that's not like that they just started the project. It
Can,
had been worked on for like 7 months prior.
can you imagine the creators of the game just like currently sitting in that office like, "Huh, maybe someone should have told us that's the game we were trying to make."
They had that trailer made, and then they looked at what they had, looked at it, and said, "Ah, we can make something that kind of looks like that."
They're like, I'm not sure we can get that exactly the same as it is on the screen, but I think we can get close enough to it."
Like for real, and it's funny because do you know the situation with Anthem?
No.
That game was made by EA. the ones that are typically the publisher for BioWare,
Well,
as in
to be
BioWare
fair,
pays them the
E
game.
to be fair, EA has all sorts of bad rap, especially with their DLC bullshits.
People wonder why. Why is EA bad?
No, we don't wonder. Like nobody wonders. They know.
Dude, my
They
friends, they're baked potatoes compared to me. Like they don't have any starch left in their brain. Like for real.
To be fair, that doesn't say a lot.
That's true. That's true.
The bar wasn't very high.
This is true.
Yeah, but like, it's just so stupid. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, that's one thing I would like them for them to fix. Because even like, I'm gonna be honest, even Nintendo kind of fucked up recently. So I remember when Sword and Shield came out, fucking some switches were fucking overheating because they couldn't handle the graphics properly.
Oh, let me just whip out my Nintendo Switch Lite real quick and give it a whirl.
Does it still
See how
over?
well it handles it.
Does it still overheat?
I mean, probably it's a Lite. A Nintendo Switch Lite literally has less components in it than a normal Switch.
To be fair, it's half the price. Is
It's
it?
like
Is it half the
it's,
price? I think it's half the price. How much does it
it's
cost?
like $100 less, I think. So where you're paying like $300 for a Switch, you're paying like 200.
You know, I'm also hating the fact that we say that like it's a big improvement.
It isn't. I mean, the way I see it, you're paying like $200 to have a Switch Lite, which is a portable only console, and it can run less games and run games worse than the normal Switch, which is $100 more. Um, and not only that, you have more ways to play. It's not portable only, it's also an at-home console. So it's just not only it's a normal variation more powerful, there's more stuff you can do with it. It should be $150 cheaper at least in my opinion, because you're literally paying to do less. Now I understand it may not be easy for them to market that value, because they might not be making any profit, but all the same, it's just not to me as a consumer, it's not worth it.
Well, to be fair, like the Switch Lite, yeah, does not sound worth it. Like I'm not even. It's not worth it to even like
The
get.
only reason I would ever buy it is if I'm buying it for the sole purpose of being able to play very, very specific Nintendo games, like Zelda games and only Zelda games.
I like. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like Breath of the Wild. That's a very unpopular opinion.
Have you ever played Dynasty Warriors?
Dude, I like Dynasty Warriors. I remember I had Dynasty Warriors, the Hyrule Warrior one.
Yeah, that's where I was going with this. I was gonna ask you if you've
Uh,
ever played Hyrule Warriors.
yes.
They're releasing a new Hyrule Warriors.
Dude, I've never beat it
There is
because
a playable demo on Nintendo Switch right now. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. It's supposed to be equal to Breath of the Wild.
anyway, we're proud sponsored by Nintendo. I just realized
Copyright claim!
we kind of just like shit on like
Hey, I like Nintendo. I'll kiss their ass. I claim the developer.
the we just literally just shit on Anthem and we shit on EA for like fucking
I
20
love you
minutes,
guys.
and then
I
we're over
do.
here like,
They publish my favorite franchise. I'll milk them. By that I mean I'll kiss their anus all day long. It'll be fine.
please never say that again.
I'll chastise them for all their mistakes.
I hope you know they just got me demonetized.
You can't be demonetized if you ain't monetized to begin with. That's not how that works.
Dude, they don't know that. Also,
Yeah.
I just don't want you saying shit like that. That's really fucked up, dude.
Hey, I'm a potato. Okay.
Dude, you gotta respect yourself or something. You don't love yourself.
Hey, no man. I just know the value of a potato. Okay.
First of all, the potato saved the Irishman from famine.
You're darn right it did. You're darn right it did. Trust me, my entire family's ginger. I know.
What the fuck does that
Trust me.
have to do with it?
That starch is valuable, okay?
So what the fuck does that have to do with it?
The Irishman, that's what it has to do with it. It's in her blood, my guy.
I'm just gonna pretend you're not incredibly like being racist to your own people.
I'm not being racist. I'm being historically accurate.
Is I'm not being racist, all right? I'm just being accurate. I mean, to be fair, it is pretty accurate because how else would you like?
Be a potato?
I was gonna say like it is pretty accurate for the simple reason that y- history on its own is pretty fucked up. All right, like
Correct?
our conception of history is really like narrow-minded in a sense because I don't know if you ever done it, uh, but if you know anything about history, like we suck. We're terrible, terrible people, and the way we're raised now is like, my god, like in the past, they would have fucking killed us for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then people still have the time to bitch and complain about like society. And like, yes, we're very cold-hearted people, but that's just our nature, first and foremost. And then number two, dude, whereas like this is the best time to be anything like really, like let's be
Like an
real.
Apache helicopter, yeah, I agree.
Like there were times when they would just arrest you for making a joke of like, dude, I'm in a Apache helicopter. They would fucking put you in a psych ward for that shit.
Yes.
So yeah, like, and then people are over here like, wow, we need to change how things are. So, like, how much though? Like, because it seems pretty good. Like, yeah, we have issues here and there, but that's just humanity on its own. You know, like it's not really society. It's just that we as a species, we just don't give a shit.
This is true.
Which leads me to believe that's why EA is such a bad company because they realize that we don't give a shit.
It all makes full circle. It all makes full circle.
Yeah, that we don't give a shit, so they shouldn't give a shit. And
I
that's
mean,
like,
honestly, that's kind of what happened. They've been lowering the standard of their own games,
I mean,
making
have you,
poorer quality games.
dude? I mean, have you seen
So the level
Fallout?
of quality that we expect have went down. So they get away with doing less work and make all the money at the same time.
I mean, have you seen Fallout 3?
I was gonna say, and Bethesda's not too much different at this point, because people's gonna buy Bethesda games for the sake of them being Bethesda games.
Wait, not Fallout 3. Fallout 86. Have you seen Fallout
76.
70?
Fallout 76.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. It's a shit game. Like,
West
dude,
Virginia,
like it's not fully pay to win, but
copyright. Yes.
it is not good. Like it's one of those.
It's a well,
What,
it's
what
a
part
game
of it?
somebody could play and I would give them minimal shit for, because like it is an enjoyable game. It has been made better. Is it as good as it should have been? No. No. And on PC, I would just refer. I would prefer not to ever touch it because of the sheer amount of hacking that's taking place in the game. Will they put the banhammer down
No,
once a year when they feel like it? At most.
dude, they're not gonna put the banhammer down, dude. That's
They
like,
have. They've had ban waves, and they're typically all perma bans as well. However, that said, if you acquire too many rare items in the game just by being smart, you will be flagged and banned because they think you're duping. If you happen to be walking around in Fallout 76, if you drop an item, it spawns in a little paper bag, a brown paper bag. If you're walking down the road and say you just spy a brown paper bag in the road, maybe somebody's inventory got full, they got over encumbered, and they just tossed it. You walk up there and pick it up because hey, free stuff, you know. And it happens to be a lot of like rare duplicated ammo. So you're new and all ammo looks the same to you. It's just ammo. Pick up all that ammo, and all of a sudden you lose connection to the server. You relog into the game and everything, and you realize you can't play the game. It's because their automated systems detected that you were duping and permabanned you. Well, guess what you do about that? Not a damn
Nothing.
thing,
Because you're
because it's a
permaban.
permaban, and they don't want to remove permabans. If it was any other kind of ban, they would remove it. But Bethesda's own like policy on it is if you got a permaban, you had to do something to get a permaban. They don't like to review them.
As respectable as I like not removing permabans, it is a very douchey thing to do. Like, what the
Exactly. And that goes full circle with my issue with what I'm trying to do now. I paid for it. By hell, let me play it.
Well, to be fair, I think they're doing you a mercy. Because, like, what
No,
were you even planning to do
I
on it?
I reserve the right to have 900 hours over the course of a month in Mass Effect 3. I reserve that right, my guy.
How much do you have to do? There's not that much.
It's not a it's something that to me the multiplayer in it just does not get old. I can and have done it for many an hour in my life.
To be
I
fair,
can sit there
to be
and do it over and over.
to be fair, I have more than 500 hours on Monster Hunter, so I'm not any better. But, goddamn, man.
Yeah, like I get into a headspace when I play this game, and it brings me back to a place when I was young, my guy. Like honestly, and it's very wholesome. It's very enjoyable.
And just for the record, we've been recording for about 51 minutes, and you're still not able to go in.
No, like I've been trying for months, my guy. It's something. Like I've in the process of this recording, I have done entire. Like, I think I uninstalled the game and reinstalled it 3 times during the course of this recording, and it still is not working. And that's fresh installs.
Dude, I can legit. I'm positive that right now I can open up my Mass Effect 3 and it'll work.
I almost want to see you try.
I would, but we only have 8 minutes left, and I have to log in so that information stays with me.
Well, that's terrible.
It's just
That's startrophobic, my guy.
start your folder. What the fuck do you mean, dude?
That's a thing now. You know, it's startrophobic.
What you talking about, Willis?
What am I talking about? Just sanguinus. That's what I'm talking about. For context, that is a thing in law in the Republic of Ireland. It states that if you can prove right by blood, that you will be given instantaneous citizenship, no questions asked.
So, I've been playing for
That's
context for the stream, I've been playing a Slay the Spire
random.
type game, and there's a character, like an enemy, that gains more damage the more you hit him. And yes, each roguelike has one. But the problem here is it's every single time he gets hit. The Slay the Spire has a mechanic that's kind of the same, but the mechanic in Slay the Spire is that the more you hit him, the lower damage he has. So he starts with 50, and then he goes down to 0. And if he gets down to 0, he will just multiply by the amount you hurt him. And that's balance. This is not balanced. But anyway, that's enough of my gripes. So we have 6 minutes, and for these last 6 minutes, what I wanted to do, because I planned this, that's the only part about this I planned. I wanted to spend about like 10 minutes just like talking about like names or like other subjects, um, because I wanted to talk more about other things. But really, I just wanted to get like a feel for more or less what I would want to call this stream and stuff like that.
All right.
Well, it's first of all, it's not a stream; it's a podcast because, as they realize now, with just a dancing potato on screen, it's literally just about me and like talking with friends. The only problem is I don't have many friends, so it's mostly just gonna be me talking to Shay.
Hey man,
So
I don't know what to tell you.
So Shay, being against your will, may I add, added to this podcast for a long time. What do you think I should do?
Potatoes don't run, my guy. That's what I say.
No, no, you're still firmly planted. Like he hasn't realized
Yeah.
he has his
I
his
don't have legs. I just got roots, my guy. I can't run anybody anywhere with these fucking roots. Come
he,
on now.
he hasn't realized he has rights.
Right? What are those?
Nobody in the comments tell him like he can say no. No, nobody tell him that. So
What do you call it when you stick me in the oven? Or microwave? Oven. Oven. Continue.
we're gonna have to talk about that last one, cause what the
Hey man, hey, when you don't own a microwave, right? And you really want a baked potato, you wrap it in your tinfoil and you stick it in the oven for a few minutes, okay?
First and foremost, I feel offended you would even stick a potato in the fucking oven. What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's
Like,
starchophobic.
no, that's not tartophobic.
It's
You don't cook a
starchophobic.
potato in the microwave.
I mean, there's plenty of other starchy foods you put in the microwave or oven, my guy.
Do it in the fucking. Do it in. Do it in a grill, or do it. No.
Grill. You're gonna grill a potato?
Yes, you don't know how to.
That's my guy.
You don't know how to make baby potatoes. Oh my god,
That's torture. Over
dude,
grill. Let's
dude,
go on the grill.
I
Not
can't.
leeks and potatoes.
I can't believe you don't know how to grill a potato. I can't believe it, dude. It's
I'm sorry, but I don't cook my own kind. I'm not that sadistic, my guy. That's a little
oh,
messed
but you
up.
would put him in the microwave what for entertainment?
No, that's our destiny. We go up to the big, circular saucer in the sky. What do you mean?
First and foremost, if your microwave has its saucer at the top, I think you
No,
might
no,
have your
no.
microwave upside down.
We ascend and we get set on this big golden circular disc. It spins. We get to look up at the sparkly beyond as everything starts to heat up as we pass. As we
First,
pass into the afterlife.
okay. Secondly, if your saucer is yellow, have you considered cleaning it?
I'm a potato. I don't clean. I just exist. What do you mean?
I honor you for the commitment to this bit. Um, but from now on, you really are just gonna be. I'm gonna save a screenshot of this potato. And
Oh yeah. No, no. That is. My name is Shay Potato now. Yeah,
this is you now.
yeah. I am a potato.
This is your destiny. Like you're now 100% a potato for the rest of
Yeah,
this stream. Okay,
yeah.
so you're a potato then. Okay,
Yeah, Goku goes Super Saiyan. I just go potato.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
This is what it means to go even further beyond. Truly.
Okay, so we still have 2 minutes. So you recommended a few names, and if anybody made it this far, they have the right to say if they're any good. So
I
go.
don't remember actually.
Okay, so now you're on the spot, and now you have to come up with names.
Right.
I'll give 3 suggestions, and you give 3 suggestions. We'll do one and one. So
Oh,
you
that's a big number, my guy. Three. Yeah. Hmm.
okay? So you go first because I don't have a suggestion.
That's criminal. That is absolutely criminal.
Dude, I don't have a suggestion. My suggestion was blue factions because I liked blue, and the whole point of this was that I was gonna have multiple people on my channel, and we would just be basically just a bunch of people. And instead of calling it a club or a union, I just decided to call it a faction, kind of like in Minecraft. That's literally it. That's all I came up with. Like that's it. That's it. I got nothing else. What do you want from me? I remember.
See,
I remember.
Scion-tastic.
Fuck Cyan, dude.
Okay, okay.
Dude, screw cyan. Cyan sucks. Cyan's the worst blue there is. I don't think it's a blue. I think it's a green, actually. I need someone to fact check me on that. If you,
Glacial Dan.
who's Dan?
You, I guess, my guy.
I guess you just. This is like, so why are you called Glacier
Outlet
Dan?
Glaciers. There you go. There's your name.
Who the fuck's Alec?
No, not Alec. Outlet.
I think we're gonna have to work on that. As you,
I mean, I don't know why it has to be a glacier because it's blue, but I never claimed that I was the most starchy of potatoes. So
it's okay. This goes to prove two things. One, if someone bothers listening, we're terrible at names, which would explain why my banner's still work in progress, and would also explain why I make very little progress.
ultramarine. There you go. It's apparently supposed to be a very light blue color. Ultramarine.
Just like aquamarine, dude.
Yeah, but it's ultra. It's plus ultra.
But I'm not Goku.
Okay.
You know what? We'll talk about this more. But is there anything else that you want to talk about before I end the stream? Like, or anything else you want to state?
I will leave you all the way that this video began. I am a potato.
Is that how it started? Actually, I gotta edit that out.
Roughly.
I feel the need to learn to edit just to remove that little bit at the start, so it just at the end is like, it makes no sense for you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just to put you on the spot, like everybody's like, "What the hell is this guy talking about?" And
Too.
by everybody, I mean nobody, cause let's be real, I only got 3 views.
Hey man, that's. Are we still recording? Is this still happening?
Yeah, this is still
Oh,
happening.
okay.
I haven't even said my goodbyes yet.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You'd be the first to know when I stop recording. Don't worry.
Oh.
Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah, so when I stop recording, this is what I would do. I'm gonna be like, thank you all so much for watching, for listening. I am trying to improve uh the podcast on its own. I keep calling it a stream. I gotta work on that, and I do want to learn how to edit or like make the audio clear. Like I said at the start, there was an echo before, and hopefully now I had fixed it. I do plan on getting higher quality, and hopefully more people on here. I want to get at least enough people to play Among Us, which is like 2 to 3. They're gonna be short rounds, but hey, I never said I was popular. No, but I do plan on like upgrading this. I still haven't decided on a banner, because I'm not sure where I'm gonna take this. Because when I first made this channel, my whole plan was to start recording Minecraft videos. Because one,
Suggestion?
mm-hmm,
Um, how about Azure Cast? I can't English good. Azure.
like
Azure.
like Azure Marathalos.
Sure, I don't know what that is. Yeah, like Azure Cast, because it's podcast. And
Well,
Azure 'cause it's blue.
I kind of like it. Well, I'll consider it. Azul. But yeah, if you made it this far, uh, feel free to comment like a game you want me to record or something, or some background you would like to see, or anything in general. If you know anything about like editing videos, just send it over. I really don't care because I really don't have a plan for this. My whole plan was like, I'm just gonna record some time with my friends, and that's it. And the moment I just decided to do it, for me it was just, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. That's why I bothered. You know what I mean? Like, I knew if I didn't put at least the first one out, I wasn't gonna do it. at all. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is why like it's well such a train wreck because
I mean, my guy, the worst. What's the worst that happens? Nobody watches it. I mean, the question is, what are you deriving the satisfaction from?
just recording it, I just enjoy like recording a
Then that's
conversation.
all that matters, my guy.
I know, I know what you mean, but like I still want to make it better.
Right. If people enjoy watching it, that's just a bonus.
Yeah, dude, that's it. But that's why like I want suggestions because what I'm planning to do is I'm legit just gonna link this video or and the previous video in a Discord of one of my friends. And are they gonna laugh? Fuck yeah. Are they gonna watch it? Probably not. These videos are too long and their attention span is. I don't know. I don't talk to any of them. It's like I said, it's one of my friends' Discord. It's not my Discord. I don't know any of them. And I don't really care what they say, but if they have suggestions and they made it this far,
Constructive criticism, you know?
mm, I prefer calling them suggestions because criticism sounds kind of mean.
Construction.
Construction criticism. Just they're gonna be like an engineer just telling me is like, okay, first you gotta put the pillars up like this, okay?
Yeah, like very New Yorker, you know,
Very from
very
Boston, very Boston.
unhappy. Yeah. Hey, I'm building here, you
Yeah,
know.
he's gonna be catcalling during the Discord call.
Exactly.
oh, my
Exactly.
God. Oh my god. So yeah, I'm gonna save this little potato now, and that's gonna be the background for whenever you're here.
Good.
I'm gonna put this for whenever you're here, and whenever you're not here. I don't know. Actually, I haven't thought about that because I record these like very late at night, and most of my friends are asleep by then. So it's just like I don't have many like options at this time of night, you know?
Just use Nyan Cat. Just decide if like you'll get in trouble for Nyan Cat, you know?
I tried thinking of recording one by myself, which I can't do, as you saw for the first like what 20 minutes of this.
Hmm.
Um but it ruins that like back and forth and that breather moments I need because you
I'm
realize
just
it through this
I'm just
conversation.
I'm just worried about ruining your video quality because I'm like genuinely a potato, so
Dude, what video quality? If I had video quality to begin with, let's be real, dude. Like, then it would be the worrisome. I don't have video quality, but yeah,
fair
like,
enough.
but yeah, what I mean is that I need moments to breathe and to like rethink what I want to say. That's why I go quiet when you were talking about Anthem. Because for
Yeah.
starters, I don't know much about Anthem. I didn't know very much that like I didn't have a stance on that.
Right. I mean, if you weren't there and you haven't experienced it, then when you hear people say how unhappy they are with it, just kind of can avoid it. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but because like I'm gonna be honest, I also never played Fallout 76, but I wanted to get Fallout 76, so I followed like people who actually
It
played Fallout 76.
it's on Steam now, yeah.
I
I mean,
don't
you can.
I don't want to. I don't want. First of all, if it's worth any money, I don't want to buy it. And second of all, I still hear they have terrible issues with like bots and stuff, and kind of
I
like
mean, I don't think there's that that bad of an issue with it. But I've not played it on the PC. I've not dealt with hackers. There was, and I don't know if it got fixed. For all I know, there still is an issue where if you're in render distance, your entire inventory can get stolen because player characters in Fallout 76 are treated as storage containers, and that means there is, even if it's disabled by default, a loot all function.
that.
And somebody made a hack where they can keybind a button that enables all that, and then instantly activates loot all the moment you're in render distance.
Okay, so I want to say two things about that. One, That's a very clever way to go around that issue. And two, that's a very unsecure network then. Like, it's just security basically. Because,
I
like,
mean,
that,
it's the creation engine. It's the same as Skyrim. You just gotta be big brain enough.
yeah, because the thing, like, in theory, it sounds like a great thing, like, oh, just treat them like if they were their own containers and have them locked. That way nobody can, like, just do that. Because
Yeah,
if you need to trade, you can just use that same container, like, but at the same time, how you say it is, like, it's very abusable.
yes. Oh, that's horrifying. Yes.
What is horrifying? Who did you
I
kill?
found a GIF that I will show you later.
I kind of don't want to see it now.
It's a potato.
You found a potato?
I found a potato.
But we're still on stream. What the hell's wrong with you? I thank you for registering that joke, and I ask you not to continue that joke, please. Okay, so back to the topic. I once again want to thank everybody for at least listening. I don't know if you skipped ahead. I recommend skipping ahead if you're bored. Um, and this goes for everybody which I send this to. If you made it this far, if you like it, send it to anybody. I really don't care if it spreads or not. I don't really care who sees it or what they comment. If you don't like it, just let it die, I guess. I really don't care either way. I'm just doing this because I'm having fun. So, thank you once again, and this time for reals, I'll be, I'll be gone. Okay, I have stopped recording.
Awesome.
Okay, no, he just went quiet. Wow. No,
Huh?
okay, now I have stopped. I want to see if you would say some stupid shit.
I'm trying to focus. Here's the potato. Also, I did not get what you were talking about earlier.
Okay, that's it. I'm stopping the recording.
Oh, I thought you already did.
Nah, I was fucking with you. I want to see if you would say something stupid on the podcast.
Oh,
Okay. I need you to say goodbye because you're the potato on screen.
goodbye, people. Stay starchy.
Please tell me that's not gonna be your thing.